Transportation Secretary.
Okay, here we are with Skittles
Presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Buttigieg talked today about being a teenager during the Clinton administration when he watched one of President Clinton's choices for an ambassadorship be denied.
Me and Skittles are watching Rachel Maddow tonight.
James Harmel was gay. If Mr. Buttigieg is confirmed to lead the Transportation Department, he'll be the first LGBT
Skittles is being
cabinet secretary
precocious.
in the history of the country.
Yes, you are. You want it out? Do you want it out? What?
That his cabinet will look
Do you want
more
it out?
like America than any
Ain't
other
no
cabinet
bite.
has before. It does look to be on track to be the
No
most
bite.
diverse cabinet ever. Even as we wait on a
I
few
don't know
key
if I trust
positions
you
to
right
be filled,
now.
including positions both cabinet level and sub-cabinet
You
level
say
that
no
are
bite?
mission critical to
Right.
fighting the pandemic. President
Okay.
Biden has yet
No.
to name, for example,
No
his
bite.
commissioner to run the
Come
FDA. The agency in charge of, among other things,
Oh,
granting
gosh.
approval for coronavirus
Yeah,
vaccines
yeah,
and hopefully
yeah,
someday
yeah.
coronavirus treatments as well.
Well, I know. I'm
Tomorrow,
going to
an
hold on to
FDA
you.
advisory committee, the same one that advised the
showing off?
FDA on approving the Pfizer vaccine, that
You
same
being a
committee
handsome
will
beard?
debate the merits of approving a second COVID vaccine. This one is
Are
the
you
one
being
made
a
by
handsome
Moderna.
guy?
If all goes well with that FDA
You trying to be?
advisory panel meeting about the Moderna
What have you
vaccine
seen here?
tomorrow, and they recommend that the FDA approves it, it's possible that the FDA will issue that approval as early as the end of this week. And if that happens, we'll have two vaccines in play at once. If the Moderna vaccine is approved by the end of this week, it's been reported that we should expect 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine to begin shipment all across the country. For context,
He's very used
just
to
under
me.
3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine have gone out this
Like I
week.
said on
The
the
Moderna
earlier
one
film,
alone would more than double that number of doses next week.
I had known and held Skittles since he had no feathers. Since he was
Today,
born.
the current Vice President, Mike
So
Pence, and
we
his
are
wife
bonded
announced
pretty
that
tight,
they will
aren't we,
receive
Skittles?
the COVID vaccine themselves on Friday. They said
In my
they'll do so on
bedroom,
camera to
we
try to
live in a
assure
humble
Americans
home.
that it's safe, and they should do so too.
We have a 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
Biden is expected to receive the vaccine
My son
as early
technically
as
owns
next
it.
week. But like I said, with all eyes on the FDA this week, we are, among other things, waiting to hear who President-elect Biden will pick to run the FDA in his administration. One name reportedly
Now
under
it's time to be
consideration
loving.
by the Biden team is Dr. David Kessler.
He's
He has already
still
had the job of FDA
molting,
commissioner under
so
Presidents
these
George
dinner
H.W.
feathers,
Bush and Bill
like
Clinton.
here,
He currently serves
hurt.
as the co-chair of
He
President-elect
wants me
Biden's
to pick
COVID
'em
advisory board.
and
He is
pinch 'em.
also, I should tell you, the
And once
chief
you
medical
start,
advisor
I'm
for the
telling you,
Biden inauguration.
then you get
As
to
they radically
pick
scale down
200,000
the
other
festivities
feathers
to
on
make
this
sure
bird,
that
and
this year's
you
intentionally
don't
stripped
start.
down
So I
event
just lightly pull on
will
it.
be one at which
You know,
everybody
if the
can
tube
be
comes
interested.
off, they
Joining us
surround
now
it. What
is
happens
David
is this
Kessler.
thing
Dr.
grows
Kessler,
out like a
again,
tube,
it's a
like a
real honor
pencil,
that you can make time to share
and
some
then
time
the
with
tube
us. Thanks for
sleeve
being here tonight.
comes off, and he wants me to pick the sleeve. And
First, let me just ask if I got it right in what I
can't.
just said there
Well,
about
I'll
the
do one.
inaugural and the effort
See,
to keep
it
it
hurts.
smaller and COVID safe this year. Is
So,
there anything
but
about
it feels
that
good,
I got wrong?
and we used to bond this way when he was little,
Let me tell you
because
why.
I helped him through with his first
It's
pledge.
because of the man.
So now this
It's
is
because
what
of
we
the
do for
president-elect. From
closeness.
the beginning of the pandemic,
We have an emotional bond.
he's
He
cared
does. Yes, you do.
he's cared about
does,
modeling the right public health behavior.
Enjoy spending time
He's
with his
cared
dad.
very much about not
He
putting
talks with mom.
anyone at risk.
He's
So
very
that's
close
what
to
you've
Sherry.
seen over the last
He cuddles
8
with her.
months
Mom is mom.
with the Democratic
But
National Convention election.
you know,
winning,
I
the
am the one to
rebels
handle him if
very much
he's in a bad
wants people
mood.
to be safe. But this is
Uh,
also an important time.
I
It's a
can take
peaceful
bites. Sherry took
transfer
a bite from him
of
too,
power.
and that wasn't kind.
It's bringing the country
I
together.
felt bad
So it's
about
a
it, but,
very important moment. All
you
traditional
know,
functions.
That beak can
will be
crush a
preserved.
Brazilian nut,
We want everyone to
and it's their
participate,
third hand,
but please
you know,
participate
or paw.
from home.
So their feet are their feet.
Dr. Kessler, I don't
They
want to get
hold
ahead
stuff
of
with
the
them, but
FDA
and they
and
have an
the
opposing
advisory
thumb on their
committee. I don't
foot,
wanna presume
or an
what
opposing
is gonna
digit on their
happen
foot. So
between
they
now
do
and
have a
the
great
week.
range of motion
If
and
they do approve the
they're
Moderna
quite
vaccine by the end of this week, should we
dexterous.
expect that having two vaccines in circulation
But,
instead of one means just that much more supply in terms of Americans
Everything
having
else is done with the beak.
to a vaccine? Is there a
So
more
that can be
complicated way we
intimidating
need to be
unless you're
thinking
used
about
to
it, or
it.
is it just additive? There will be that
And
many more
he's hurt me.
opportunities for
Yeah,
Americans to get
he's
an
bit my
inoculation.
ears, he's bit my cheek, he
So,
bit my lip.
assuming
That one was
Moderna,
fun. That one bled.
Gets approved, and it's
He
likely,
didn't mean it.
to be approved.
And then,
Again,
you know,
let's not
he's just
prejudge it.
his
Let's hear
hands. But
all
right now, he knows I want to pet his back a little bit. So I'll hold his beak, because it settles him down. And it kind of reminds him that I'm strong too. He knows he's got a strong beak. He knows he can be intimidating. He's got a 3-foot wingspan, you know, so he's basically a baby eagle, you know. But you know, the eagle weighs more like 2 kilograms, so they got a lot more mass in this bird. This bird's just all feather. He's got 3 feet of tail. But he's being a dork tonight. He doesn't get to spend much time with me with the dogs. But I am trying to spend once a week with them for an hour or 2. I have been spending a lot of time with him out of the cage lately, and I miss him. So it helps me relax.
Take care of, to vaccinate.
I'm sure you can see
175 million people.
it's a relaxing bond for me too. You know, I can feel
So that's not
what he wants in a way.
to get to that
He's eating.
75%.
And he's needy, and he misses Poppy.
I mean, I would like,
So
my fingers are
he's
crossed.
being a little hammy right now. Now
Several other
you can't hear him likely, but
vaccines
he's
are gonna
cooing
get the
sweet
data
nothings
in
to me.
January. So having a third vaccine would certainly
And of course
get
he's
us
playing with
over
my
that
paws.
supply.
This is just a little touchy
It's
touch
very
game we play.
possible
He
that
loves
we're gonna
his
need to go
paws.
into the third or
Worked
fourth
with and
quarter if
touched
those
and
other
petted.
vaccines
And he needs a
don't
trim. He's
get.
kind of reminding me.
I can
Right
tell
now
you
he's reminding me
are
I need a
staying
claw trim,
laser
Dad.
focused on
He'll,
trying
he'll
to get enough
and oh yeah, he's got nasty little talons.
and as safely as we can.
I think I mentioned this in the other video, but he's an omnivore. And they'll eat anything. They'll eat seeds and flesh. So and mud.
Dr. Kessler, let
They
me
use
ask you
mud in their
about a
digestion.
story that
They
I
use
admit is not the
bones.
biggest story in the world, but I realized I don't know
Pure
how to
calcium.
think, I
They'll
don't know
eat
how to
right
think
off
about
a
it, and I find
calcium
it a little
cliff.
unsettling. Politico and the New York Times have just reported that each little glass vial of the Pfizer vaccine is supposed to contain 5 doses.
Oh, what are you doing?
As they're administering it to people, pharmacists are discovering, and the hospitals are discovering, that they actually, in some vials, can pull 1 or 2 extra doses from the vials. They pull out the 5 doses, and there's still more left in the jar. And on the one hand, that's great. You know, it sounds like a Christmas bonus, more vaccine than we thought we had. On the other hand, I worry, just as a layman watching this process, that maybe that means there's sort of more sloppiness in this process that I wouldn't expect. It just seems like a surprising thing to me that you wouldn't expect that sort of thing to be
Gonna come over to this
mismeasured.
side.
How should we feel
Hi,
about
Skittles.
this? Is this a normal
What?
thing?
Yeah, it's not
What are you doing?
mismeasured, Rachel.
No.
The way
No
it
pitch.
works is there is
Are you
overfill.
figuring out something's
in
on? Can you
every,
hear it? I bet
vial,
you
and
can.
that's done by.
You can hear electronics.
Depending
That's
on
what
the type
he's
of
doing
syringe
his
you
little
use, the
head
syringe
glaze. I
sometimes
don't know if you can
very
see his
thin.
eyes, but they're
There's
focusing in. They're doing the dinosaur thing right now.
There's some dead
Aren't
volume
they?
of liquid
He's
left
being a nice
in there,
boy.
so that's why
Pretty
they
skinny.
overfill. But they fill to
Skittles.
precise levels. Now, it
Who
is
are you?
right, if you can use a particular syringe, you may
Say
be able
hello,
to get
Skittles.
an extra dose out of this.
Hello.
That would mean another 10% of the 7 million people will get vaccinated. We get to our goal. So, I mean, everyone is aware of this, and they're trying to find syringes.
Yes.
It's not slugged in this.
Evil
It's
Skittles.
the way the virus is designed.
This is
Ha, ha, ha.
clear
Right.
speaking officials.
What do you
and
think
experts
about
like
that?
me to explain this to
Ha, ha, ha.
bewildered